Kansai International University entered this matchup with a sense of quiet determination. The season had been rocky up until now, with flashes of brilliance overshadowed by inconsistency. But this game against Kansai Gaidai University presented more than just another chance for victory. It was an opportunity to shift momentum, to prove that their team identity was not defined by early struggles but by resilience. The stadium atmosphere on that crisp afternoon was buzzing even before the first pitch. Students, alumni, and local supporters gathered with banners and chants, bringing a genuine energy that only college baseball can produce. For Kansai International, the crowd was more than just a backdrop. They were the heartbeat, urging the players to give everything on the diamond. The tone of the game was set almost immediately in the first inning. As Taketo Tanaka stepped up to the plate, the anticipation was thick in the air. Known for his disciplined approach and ability to seize the moment, Tanaka carried the pressure of representing not just his teammates but also the aspirations of the fans who believed in him. The pitcher from Kansai Gaidai delivered the opening sequence with confidence, mixing fastballs and sliders. But Tanaka, reading every subtle movement, was patient. Then, in a defining swing, he launched a solo home run that sailed deep into the outfield stands. The crack of the bat echoed, the crowd erupted, and momentum shifted instantly. That solo shot was not just a run on the board, it was a psychological strike. Kansai International's dugout exploded with cheers, the players rallying behind Tanaka's spark. The confidence that had been lacking in prior games suddenly surged, and with it came a belief that this was their day. Kansai Gaidai, stunned by the early blow, tried to regroup quickly. Their coaching staff urged composure, reminding the team that one run did not decide the game. Still, the visible shake in the defense showed how much that first-inning home run had rattled them. Every fumble and delayed reaction on the field hinted at the pressure mounting. Kansai International's pitchers seized the advantage. With a lead to protect, they delivered precise strikes and forced groundouts, refusing to give their opponents any breathing room. The rhythm between pitcher and catcher was seamless, like a well-rehearsed symphony. Each strikeout drew cheers and claps, reinforcing the dominance that was building inning by inning. By the third inning, Kansai International's hitters had found the groove. Singles turned into doubles, and stolen bases kept Kansai Gaidai on their heels. The aggressiveness on the base paths showcased a new level of confidence, one that hadn't been seen earlier in the season. Every player seemed determined to carry forward the momentum Tanaka had ignited. What stood out most was the balance in Kansai International's performance. It wasn't just about one star or a lucky break. The outfielders made diving catches, the infielders executed double plays with precision, and the bench players shouted encouragement, their voices echoing with passion. This was a united front, every individual pulling their weight toward a common goal. Kansai Gaidai had their moments too, especially in the fourth inning when they loaded the bases. The tension was palpable as the crowd held its breath. But Kansai International's pitcher, under immense pressure, delivered a masterful strikeout to end the threat. That moment drew a standing ovation, reminding everyone that defense can be just as electrifying as offense. As the innings wore on, the score began to tilt heavily in favor of Kansai International. Line drives down the baseline and perfectly timed bunts added to the tally. Their batting order was relentless, never allowing the opposing pitchers to settle into a rhythm. Every inning seemed to carry at least one highlight-worthy play. In the dugout, Kansai International's coaching staff could be seen smiling more than usual. They knew how much the players had worked to correct mistakes from earlier games, adjusting swings, tightening pitching mechanics, and sharpening defensive instincts. To see it all come together in such a dominant performance was deeply rewarding. The fans, too, played a role in this spectacle. Their chants grew louder with every run scored, their drums and claps creating a stadium atmosphere that felt bigger than a college game. For the players, the crowd's energy was like fuel, pushing them to dive a little farther, swing a little harder, and sprint a little faster. By the sixth inning, the scoreboard showed a comfortable lead for Kansai International. Yet, What impressed most was their refusal to become complacent. Instead of coasting, they continued attacking, showing discipline in their swings and patience at the plate. They respected the game, and they respected their opponents, by giving their best until the very end. The highlight reel kept growing. A spectacular diving catch in left field drew gasps. A squeeze bunt that brought home a run had the bench leaping in celebration. And every time Tanaka came to bat again, the crowd held its breath, remembering that first inning blast that had set everything in motion. Kansai Gaidai, though behind, continued to fight. They strung together a few hits, even scoring a run, but the gap was too wide to close. Their spirit was admirable, refusing to simply surrender. Yet, the truth was clear. On this day, Kansai International was the sharper, hungrier, and more unified team. As the game entered the late innings, the realization began to sink in. This would be Kansai International's first set of consecutive wins this season. That milestone meant more than numbers. It represented progress, growth, and a shift in mentality. The team had proven they could build momentum and sustain it, an essential ingredient for future success. The final outs came with roaring anticipation. The crowd was on its feet, phones ready to capture history. With a routine grounder to shortstop and a clean throw to first, the game ended. Kansai International players rushed the field, exchanging high fives and cheers. It wasn't just victory, it was vindication. For Taketo Tanaka, the hero of the opening inning, the post-game spotlight was inevitable. His home run had been the catalyst, the moment that ignited the fire within his team. Reporters surrounded him, fans chanted his name, and his teammates patted his back. Yet, Tanaka remained humble, crediting the team effort above his personal achievement. The victory carried significance beyond the scoreline. It was a turning point in the season, one that showed Kansai International could rise above struggles and find consistency. The coaches emphasized that this was just the beginning, a foundation to build upon as they pursued greater goals in the league. For the fans, the win was deeply satisfying. They had supported through the tough stretches, and now they were rewarded with a performance that reminded them why they believed in the team. Social media buzzed with clips of Tanaka's home run, diving catches, and jubilant celebrations, ensuring the victory would be remembered well beyond the day. The game also carried lessons for Kansai Gaidai University. Defeats can sting, but they also provide opportunities for reflection and improvement. Their coaches reminded them that resilience is built in adversity, and though they had been outplayed, the experience would serve as motivation to sharpen their skills and strategies. Looking at the broader landscape of college baseball in Japan, this matchup was a reminder of the passion and unpredictability the sport offers. Rivalries like Kansai International versus Kansai Gaidai create unforgettable moments that inspire both players and fans, fueling the spirit of competition and pride in their institutions. In the days following the win, Kansai International University's campus was alive with celebration. Students wore team colors proudly, and players were greeted with congratulatory messages wherever they went. The victory was not just a sports achievement, it was a community triumph that brought people together. The coaching staff, reviewing the game tape, identified key takeaways. They praised the discipline at the plate, the execution of defensive plays, and the mental toughness under pressure. At the same time, they highlighted areas for further improvement, determined not to let success breed complacency. For the players, the victory was a morale booster. Training sessions that once felt grueling now carried a renewed sense of purpose. They had proof that their hard work translated into results, and that belief would push them to maintain high standards in upcoming games. What made the win particularly meaningful was its timing. Coming after a season marked by ups and downs, it provided the perfect reset. It was a statement that Kansai International was not defined by past setbacks, but by the ability to adapt, improve, and rise again. Taketo Tanaka's role as a leader became even clearer. While his home run was the headline, his presence in the dugout, his encouragement of younger teammates, and his calm demeanor under pressure were equally impactful. He embodied what it meant to be a team anchor. The media coverage following the game elevated the story further. Local newspapers highlighted the dramatic first inning and the dominant performance that followed. Sports analysts praised Kansai International's balanced approach and noted that if they maintained this form, they could become a serious contender in the league. Fans on social media replayed Tanaka's home run again and again. The video clip circulated widely, becoming a symbol of the turning point in the season. Hashtags related to the game trended locally, drawing attention to a matchup that might otherwise have gone unnoticed beyond the campuses. For Kansai Gaidai, the defeat was undoubtedly painful, but their supporters stood by them. Messages of encouragement reminded the players that one game does not define a season. Rivalries create moments of both triumph and heartbreak, and it is in overcoming the latter that true growth happens. College baseball thrives on such narratives. The clash between two universities is never just about statistics or standings, it's about pride, tradition, and the bonds formed through competition. This game exemplified that spirit, leaving a lasting impression on everyone who witnessed it. As Kansai International looks ahead, the challenge will be sustaining this momentum. Consecutive wins are a step, but consistency over a season requires discipline, focus, and the ability to overcome adversity repeatedly. The foundation has been laid, but the journey is far from over. The players know this. In their post-game reflections, many emphasized that the victory was sweet, but it was just the beginning. Their sights are set on climbing the league standings, proving that they are not just a team capable of flashes of brilliance, but one that can dominate consistently. The rivalry with Kansai Gaidai will continue, and this game will surely be remembered in future matchups. For Kansai International, it will be a source of confidence. For Kansai Gaidai, it will be a motivator to seek revenge and reclaim pride. Either way, the competition will only grow fiercer. Ultimately, this game was more than just a sporting event. It was a story of perseverance, leadership, and the magic that can happen when preparation meets opportunity. Taketo Tanaka's home run was the spark, but it was the collective will of the team that carried Kansai International to victory. When the dust settled and the stadium lights dimmed, the echoes of cheers still lingered in the air. Players left the field with smiles, fans carried memories that would last, and a new chapter in the history of Kansai International baseball was written. It was a day that reminded everyone why they love the game.